You're watching the ABC 17 SportsZone special, The Road to Arizona, presented by these fine sponsors.
What is up, everyone? Welcome into a special edition of SportsZone, The Road to Arizona. I'm ABC 17 Sports Director Natalie Jones alongside Chanel Porter back in the studio. We are hanging here outside of State Farm Stadium on an absolutely beautiful day in the desert. Sunny, 75 degrees. Chanel, sorry, I know it's a little bit colder back in Missouri. How are things there?
Well, it's definitely not as good as it is there. I can see that. But we reached the 50s today, so I don't have too much to complain about. Well, we've been bringing you guys live coverage in Arizona all week long. Natalie's talked to players, coaches, and even some fans. Natalie, what's the vibes like right now?
Chanel, we're just ready to get going. Kickoff needs to get here. It's been 2 very long weeks since the Chiefs won the AFC Championship game over the Bengals. Like Andy Reid said, these last few days here before this game starts, that's when his players really get locked in. They're ready to play. The preparation's done, the practices are done, the walkthroughs are done. Now, let's just play some football. It feels like it's been quite a bit.
I agree. Well, let's take a look back at how we got here. The Chiefs' goal all season has been reached, and they have made it to the big game, but it took a lot of work and 19 games before this to get to this point. From suffering a loss in Week 3, facing rematches with AFC rivals, and dealing with some injuries down the stretch, let's take a look back at how KC paved their path back to their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 seasons. The 2021 season didn't measure up to what fans at Arrowhead were hoping for.
And Cincinnati is heading to the Super Bowl.
But 2022 is starting in the same place they hope it will be ending, State Farm Stadium. Patrick Mahomes showed off all of the work he put in the offseason in the 44-21 victory. The following week, the Chiefs returned to arguably the loudest spot in the NFL, their home turf in front of their fans to host AFC West rival Justin Herbert and the Chargers. KC escaped the game by a field goal.
Watson, touchdown.
Andy Reid and company returned to the road with a trip across the Midwest to Indianapolis, a game many fans weren't worried about, but maybe they should have been. The Chiefs' run game was non-existent, and the high-powered offense couldn't get going, putting together a season-low 17 points in the 20-17 loss.
Are going to upset the Kansas City Chiefs.
After that, 2 wins, but the competition raised as the Bills took the trip to the place they all tried to forget, Arrowhead Stadium. Another battle to the wire between the 2 young QBs, but Josh Allen came out on top as Buffalo capitalized on 2 Mahomes picks.
Intercepted!
At 4-2, the group had something to prove. 5 straight wins to come, and it was time for a rematch of the AFC title game with a trip to Cincinnati. This team remained their kryptonite, putting together 10 unanswered points to win the exact same score as last year's championship game, 27-24.
The go-ahead touchdown.
Another 5 games to the regular season and another 5 wins. The Chiefs once again with a first-round bye, preparing to host Jacksonville in the divisional round. The season flashed before our eyes as QB1 headed into the locker room with an ankle injury. But in the end, Mahomes punched their ticket to host the 5th straight AFC Championship game at Arrowhead. The team they faced, they knew all too well. Leading up to the matchup that's turned into a rivalry, the Bengals had a lot of bulletin board material for KC.
The Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Burrowhead Stadium.
But the Chiefs saved their talking for the field, taking down the team that had their number over the past 2 seasons and returning to the place where it all started, State Farm Stadium.
Let's take a look at now how the Eagles got here. Philadelphia actually started the season a perfect 8-0, finally faltered in mid-November with a divisional loss to the Commanders. The Birds managed to win the next 5 games, and starting QB Jalen Hurts, though, went down with an injury. With Hurts out, Philly lost 2 straight games to the Cowboys and Saints before Hurts returned for the final regular season win of the year. The NFC playoffs games were a little bit of an easier ride for the Eagles with a first-round bye. Then they absolutely dominated the Giants in the divisional round, and the NFC Championship wasn't too much to watch, obviously taking down the Niners 31-7. Well, we've been throwing storylines at you guys all week long. The Kelsey Bowl, the Andy Reid Bowl, but one is a lot bigger than football. Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes going to make history on Super Bowl Sunday, and a big step forward for the next generation of football players.
Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. Patrick Mahomes, come on over here.
Super Bowl 57 will kick off on Sunday night, as it always does this time in February. But this time, when it does, two young quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, will make history.
Jalen said it, though. It's a historic moment, and to be a part of it with two historic football teams. So many people laid the foundation before us.
Hurts and Mahomes will be the first two black quarterbacks starting against each other in a championship.
You're on the world stage, and to have two black quarterbacks playing the quarterback position at a very high level and consistently playing great football, it just shows that where we're at in football and society, like you said. I mean, we're moving forward.
It will be Mahomes' third trip to the big game.
Anything you want to do is possible. If you really chase your dream, you can go out there and get it.
And Hurts' first.
Think about all the rich history in this game, you know, and to be a part of such an historic event, a historic moment, is special.
Although on opposite sidelines, the two did come together to acknowledge history.
Patrick Mahomes is 27 and Jalen is 24, you know, so it speaks value. You know, those two, they work on their craft daily and they're trying to keep getting better, so hats off to both of those guys.
This moment comes nearly 3 decades after history was made in Super Bowl 22. Washington quarterback Doug Williams led his team to a title in 1988.
Holy cow! You're watching.
26 years later, Russell Wilson was the next black quarterback to lift the Lombardi Trophy with the Seahawks.
Victories now in his first 2 years.
No matter which quarterback on either sideline wins on Sunday night, it is a win for history.
We're going to be on the world stage. We're both trying to play great football and show that dream can be achieved.
Now, if Jalen Hurts does manage to beat the Chiefs on Super Bowl Sunday, he will be the 4th black quarterback to win a Lombardi Trophy. That's, of course, in addition to Patrick Mahomes, who won his first just a few years ago. Well, shifting gears a little bit now, the story that has absolutely swept the nation, maybe the two most beloved brothers in the country right now. Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce will make history here at State Farm Stadium on Super Bowl Sunday when they take the field. Either way, the Lombardi Trophy, it's going to belong to a Kelce.
He was full rage and like rampage. Like the more you pissed him off, the hotter he got.
They couldn't be more different.
My dad used to threaten that he'd let me hit him if he kept antagonizing me. And then one time they did let me hit him, and my mom said, "Not in the face!"
Me, I'm more like, all right, I understand I did something wrong. I'm going to squeal my way out of this.
But somehow, they made it to the same stage.
Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
On game day, I don't know how it's going to be. I really don't. I think it'll be a lot of emotions. It'll be a lot of competitiveness coming out in both of us.
Brothers Travis and Jason Kelce will be the first sibling duo in NFL history to face off on a Super Bowl Sunday.
Man, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a little awkward for one of us. Hopefully it isn't me.
For Travis, it'll be his 3rd championship appearance in 4 years. For Jason, his 2nd in 5 years.
Once he hit puberty, I struggled to compete with him in a lot of these sport activities.
Growing up in Cleveland, Ohio, that competitive spirit was always a part of life.
Racing to the car to get shotgun, playing cards while we're eating, every single thing that you can think of. We had so many board games.
Travis didn't do a lot of winning, I'm not gonna lie. I was beating him a lot in board games, video games, all the above.
The brothers even went to the same college. Jason was a walk-on running back at Cincinnati before switching to offensive line. Travis joined him on campus in 2008. It's on that campus where the big brother saved the little one.
When I got removed from the team, I got my scholarship took, so I was actually staying with my brother. I was in his room in his house, kind of like 2 brothers growing up living in the same room.
Travis got taken off of the Bearcat squad due to a disciplinary reason after his redshirt freshman season.
And he went into the coach's office and actually talked to numerous coaches and numerous people in the Cincinnati staff to try and get me another chance to be on the team. But when I say I owe it all to him, I really do.
On the outside, the brotherly bond is all fun and games.
I was hoping for a girl, but I got one. He's a fashionista.
But if you look just a little bit past it, there's a lot more there.
He was my lifeline.
Their family will be rooting for offense.
I would imagine my parents would probably be the most stressed out. I think they are every time we're watching a game.
As one Kelsey is guaranteed a Lombardi.
My mom can't lose. I'll just leave it at that.
Mama Donna Kelsey has to be the only one, like he said, that cannot lose. Absolutely insane week for her going to opening night, seeing all these different players. She's had a great week. Chanel, tell us more about Mama Donna Kelsey.
Well, you know, it is kind of nice that both of these players play offense. That way, Donna, at all times, will have a son on the football field. I listened to their New Heights podcast this week, and Donna said that she hopes this is the highest scoring Super Bowl in NFL history. There were burning questions to both parents this week about which son they like more and who they'll be rooting for, but they both played that one smart and remained neutral. Both parents were also asked who they'll be finding first at the end of the game, to which they both agreed they will be consoling the loser first before celebrating with the Super Bowl champ. Well, while majority of the Chiefs roster is looking for their second ring, a special Mizzou alum is in the group that is in search of their first. We'll have more ahead of linebacker Nick Bolton's first Super Bowl appearance. That's after the break. Well, we've heard some wild stories about Chiefs Kingdom all season. We've seen them bear the cold for the AFC Championship game and be outside of that stadium 24 hours before game time. But as we inch closer to the big game, the Red Sea is showing up in full force. In Columbia, local Chiefs fans even took on a friendly prank against their coworker who's cheering for Philadelphia by adding some fresh decor to her classroom.
Walking down the hallway, a glimpse of the streamers hanging in my doorway, and I thought perhaps Miss Helen, my student teacher, had maybe started decorating a little early for Valentine's Day next week. But then I heard the music of the Chiefs, the Red Kingdom, I guess, playing, and then I certainly walked in and saw a nice cardboard cutout of Mr. Mahomes there.
And one thing's for sure, Chiefs fans are confident going into Sunday.
And we've been bickering back and forth at who's the best, and of course it's the Chiefs.
Arizona is better be ready for Kansas City, I know that.
Well, there will be quite a few Kansas City Chiefs making their Super Bowl debut. Obviously, a lot of rookies on that team. And one of them, actually, though, will be linebacker Nick Bolton, one of the most beloved true sons in recent history. He will be playing in his first ever Super Bowl here at State Farm Stadium. Drafted to the Chiefs a couple years ago. Wasn't the most talked about draft pick, but hey, look where he's at now in Arizona.
Yeah, man, it's kind of crazy, man. I got a friend that lives out here in Arizona, and we're just talking about it. How I was just back in Texas 5 years ago, and just being from Edgewood, Texas, and moving to Frisco, there's not a lot of guys who have the opportunity to be in this game, and man, it's special, man. And being from Mizzou as well, you know, we got a lot of good guys out there that come out every single year, and just being one of those guys playing this game, man, it's huge. I know it's huge for Columbia, University of Missouri, and also the whole state of Missouri.
Oh, he's grown a lot since last year. Even when he wasn't the number one guy off the bat, we knew Nick was going to be who he is now. Like, he knew who he was going to be, and we did, because his approach of the game. He's so smart. Nothing he can't do on the field.
Shut down by Nick Bolton.
I know our defense lost a lot of communication, a lot of leadership with Hitch and Tyrann Mathieu leaving last year. So me being able to evolve in that role and kind of evolve out and continue to lead, man.
We get the loose Nick. Y'all probably get him a little uptight a little bit. He don't like answering a lot of questions. So, but in the locker room, he's the best.
Bolton will look to be the third straight Tiger to sport a Super Bowl ring. Last year, Kendall Blanton did it with the Rams, and the year before that, it was Blaine Gabbert with the Bucks. We'll see if he can do it on Super Bowl Sunday. Chanel.
Well, it's been quite the trip to Arizona for Chiefs QB Patrick Mahomes as he secured his second NFL Most Valuable Player award on Thursday night. The offseason talk was all about what Mahomes will be without Tyreek Hill, but he did a pretty good job proving what he's capable of. Mahomes led the league in passing yards with a career high over 5,200, while leading the league in touchdowns with over 40. Those TDs were also spread out to 11 different receivers over the season. Mahomes made sure to put an emphasis on this being a team award, saying that he's ready to secure a second piece of hardware on Sunday.
To the Chiefs organization, Clark Hunt, Brett Veach, Andy Reid, the staff, and most of all, my teammates. I would never be standing here today without y'all. Every day, giving everything that we have together to go for the ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. Let's continue to go for that dream this weekend.
Now let's look at the other side. One of Philadelphia's biggest strengths this season has been their ability to stop the run and rush the quarterback. The Eagles had the NFL's second-ranked defense in the regular season, and the unit hasn't given up more than 7 points in each of its postseason wins. When it comes to rushing the QB, the group is on a historic pace. The Birds have surpassed 78 total sacks across the regular season and postseason, making them third most in NFL history. Philadelphia is just 3 sacks away from surpassing the 1985 Chicago Bears for the second most sacks ever, and 5 sacks from the 1984 Bears for the NFL's single-season record.
This year has been a lot of fun. The way we work every day, we don't have to really get too many guys to get going. It's just more about, you see one, you don't want to look bad. I mean, it's like a friendly competition.
The pieces that we added, it brought production to the team. It brought production to the defensive line, and just working towards it. Obviously, when you see that, you hear about being at the bottom of the league in sacks. You want to do something about it, and I think we did.
Well, this may lead you to wonder, where do the Chiefs rank as far as sacks allowed? The good news is they have allowed the third least amount of sacks in the NFL with 26 total. Next, we're going to be talking bets ahead of the big game from all things, including first play, first score, and even the Gatorade cover. We'll have it all after the break.
Welcome back, everyone. It is an absolutely gorgeous night in the desert. Super Bowl 57 is less than 24 hours away. We finally made it. Before we go, Chanel, we have to talk some bets. It's what everyone's talking about. I want to start with this one first. How about how the first score is going to come? Will it be a touchdown, a field goal, or a safety? Chanel, I'm going to let you take this one away first.
Well, I'm going to say a touchdown. I think, someone's got to set that tempo right from the jump. A part of me wants to say it might go to the Eagles. The Chiefs have really been working from behind so far this season. Just what are you thinking, Natalie?
Okay, I'm going to go field goal. I'm going to go controversial on here. Harrison Butker field goal to start this one. 40 yards, you never know. We're going to try to see it. Let's go to our next one now. I think the Eagles defense is going to come. Chanel, take this one away.
Yeah, well, how about that first play of the game? Is it going to be a run, a pass? I think it's going to depend on who it is, right? If KC gets the ball, I can see them starting off with a pass, probably to Travis Kelce, but Eagles' run game has been dominant all year, so if the Eagles get it, I'm going to say a run. What about you?
I'm saying Chiefs get it first, pass to Travis Kelce. I'm going to agree with you there. Wow, Chanel, we are actually agreeing on something here. Let's switch the pace here. We're talking Gatorade. What color is the bath going to be at the end? We love an underdog, and I'm just going to be crazy here. I'm going to pick purple. It never happens, but we are totally going to pick purple. Give me the grape Gatorade. I may be the only one thinking it.
I don't know if we've ever even seen grape Gatorade for the Super Bowl. I'm going to pick an obvious choice. I'm going to pick blue. I was going to go red, but I feel like that's just too obvious with the colors. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're talking commercials. Natalie, one of your favorite parts of the Super Bowl, will Doritos or Pringles air the first commercial?
Chanel, I love a good Doritos commercial. The Darth Vader mask is stopping the car. That's always a good one, but they always take too long to get to them. Give me Pringles all day.
All right, Natalie, I'm picking Doritos. Thank you so much. See what we can get right. Well, the Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni has led his team to the Super Bowl in just his second season in Philadelphia. After the break, hear more on the rebuilding that he did this offseason. Welcome back. We talked a lot about Andy Reid's experience with both the Eagles and the Chiefs, but this is the first opportunity on the big stage for Philly's second-year head coach Nick Sirianni. In Sirianni's first season in Philadelphia, the group lost in the wild card round of the playoffs. But after starting this year a perfect 8-0, everyone could see the work that he put in the offseason. Sirianni made some key additions to his roster in free agency, including the league's leading pass rusher, Haason Reddick, and star wideout A.J. Brown. Although Sirianni doesn't have the same experience as Reid does in big-time games, he's keeping the same mentality he has all season.
you're happy that you're in this situation. You're happy you're still playing football, and you take a lot of pride in that. But we're not making it any bigger than what it's our next game, and in the same routine, everything like that. We understand it's a Super Bowl. We're excited to be here, but we're going through the process the same way we've been going through it. I know that doesn't make for great news and great headlines, but that's just the way that's the way we've handled it for 20 weeks, and we're going to continue to handle it that way.
The good news, the Chiefs already have, get this, a slight advantage going into tomorrow. Kansas City will be stepping out in white jerseys as they're considered the away team. And get this, the team wearing white jerseys has won 15 out of the last 18 Super Bowls dating back to 2005. I'll give you a hint on who's won the last 2 Super Bowls in non-white jerseys. That's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. So we will see if they keep that trend up tomorrow. Chiefs in white jerseys might be a big advantage, Chanel.
Yeah, 15 for 18. Pretty good odds there. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget, you can get even more Super Bowl coverage. That's tomorrow morning on our Game Day in Arizona special. Natalie, you'll be in that same spot right there outside of State Farm Stadium again.
Chanel, I'm going to be camping here. I'm going to be here as early as Chiefs fans get to tailgate. It's going to be a good time. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot more stories coming your way, a lot more game day analysis. For now, though, I want to leave you with this, a beautiful view, a State Farm Stadium. We'll see if the Chiefs can win their second in 4 years. For now, have a good night, guys.
You've been watching the ABC 17 SportsZone special, The Road to Arizona, presented by these fine sponsors.